Hey, what is going on, guys? The SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and so today do the NFL Week 4 predictions, and we got the reigning 48 back this week. For it, wasn't here last week, but we got him here this week to do this again. From when we did it in Week 2. So how are you doing?
I'm good, Frank. Salutations to your listeners. How are you? And let's get to picking.
Okay, so obviously the Thursday night game at the time of this recording is still going on right now. So we're just not going to touch that right now, but it seems to be, I guess, a close game. But nonetheless, we'll touch that one. Let's get to the first game, which is, where is it on my order here? Okay, so we got the Panthers or the Carolina Panthers at the Dallas Cowboys. And the Cowboys are 4.5 favorites going into this game. I think the Cowboys will win because the Panthers are kind of a rebuilding. Well, I mean, at least right now, but I don't know. It's kind of like we'll see, wait and see. But I think they're kind of more of a rebuilding team at this point. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys to win, like a 28-14 victory. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Carolina here.
Oh, wow.
Interesting side note, Carolina is actually getting pressure on 48.7% of their snaps right now. Dak's the quarterback who's lost a little mobility with that ankle injury. And Sam Darnold really has looked very good with Carolina. They have been far from the team that I think people expected them to be, even without Christian McCaffrey. Chuba Hubbard, Canadian name, was somebody who was highly regarded as a Heisman candidate a couple years ago. He's not going to be a slouch when he fills in for him. So I'm going to go Carolina with the upset.
Do you have a score?
I will go 24-20 Carolina.
Okay. Close games. So next we have the New York Giants at the New Orleans Saints, who this will technically actually be their first game back in New Orleans. They did not play home game officially yet. When they played Green Bay, it was in Jacksonville. Saints are back in the Superdome. They got 8 points for the Saints here on the betting odds. I do agree that the Saints are going to win. I think they probably destroy the Giants. I think it might be a 24 actually zip victory. The Giants just don't look really good. And I think this is probably going to be an easy win for the Saints.
I'll agree with the easy win. I'm going to say the Giants score a little more than that, but I will say 27-10. New Orleans kind of shows. I think New Orleans is being beat up on by the media. They think that it's not that good of a team, but I think the Saints are a pretty good team, so I'll go 27-10.
All right. Next we have the Washington. You know my fault in that. Washington at the Atlanta Falcons. Right here they're giving Washington a 1.5 as the favorites against the Falcons.
They're losing 1.5. They're giving Atlanta 1.5.
Oh, yeah. This one was a tough one. But I think the Falcons are going to win. I think the Falcons win 20-10. Washington looked really cruddy against the Bills. And the Falcons, I just think they haven't shown what they can do yet. They did beat the Giants last week, but that's not that impressive. I think the Falcons get it done here.
See, I'm going to go opposite cheek on here, Frank. Last week I was nervous for Washington. The Bills line played above average. Quite honestly, the Bills line checked Chase Young and the rest of that very strong line. Atlanta's offensive line is really bad. I'm going to go 24-17 24-10 Washington here.
Okay.
Not to mention Atlanta has some of the worst players on their secondary. And Taylor Heineke, if you take away the 2 interceptions, one of them being tipped twice, threw for over 202 touchdowns against the Bills. That's not an easy feat. Like, the kid's pretty good.
They have Chase Young, too.
They have Chase Young, they've got Terry McLaurin, they've got Taylor Heineke.
Heineke we're still trying to see it. We're still trying to figure Heineke out.
Yes, but I've got faith in the kid.
Yeah. So yeah, close ones nonetheless. Anyways, next we have the Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. Interesting stories with the Bears this week, but we won't get into that. Anyways, Chicago's got 2.5 here against the Lions, and with this one, I don't think they've officially, as of this recording of our video here, they haven't named the starter. I don't think though Andy Dalton will be available for the game. That's just my prediction at this time. Justin Fields, I think, will be the starter, though people have suggested.
Did you hear who else is being considered?
Nick Foles. Nick Foles. Yeah, I know. I've heard. I was just about to get to that. But yeah, Nick Foles is considered to be the starter. It's kind of funny because the media was saying how Fields was like, needed to be the starter, and then after one bad game, it's like now they're like, oh well, he clearly wasn't ready. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of problems with the game. I mean, it didn't help that he played up against a good team last week as his first start, but yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking though, in terms of the starter, I don't know who the starter is going to be, but if it is Fields, I think the Lions definitely. Even maybe even with Nick Foles though too. I just Lions. I think probably will get the win here. They overall have a better line, and I think are a better team right now than them. But with Nick Foles, maybe, who knows? But right now, I just can't, until I know definitively, I can't really bet on that. I'd say the Lions probably win 27-20.
So I think no matter what quarterback's in, I would take Jared Goff immediately today as a better quarterback. I think running back wise, they're pretty even. The Detroit defense has played very, very well, and nobody's giving them the credit for it. It's wild to me that Chicago's the favorite in this game. I've got Detroit winning 17-3.
Yeah. All right.
DeAndre Swift has 2 touchdowns. I'm gonna call that.
Yeah. Next we have the Cleveland Browns and are at the Minnesota Vikings. And the Cleveland Browns have a 2.5 in the betting odds on the Vikings. I mean, personally, I think it should probably be higher because Cleveland, I think, is probably gonna beat them pretty badly. I think Cleveland just looked really good. Minnesota's kind of iffy with the way they're going about things right now, and Cleveland just looks like an all-around team that could be one of those teams that are right in the final mix in the AFC. I mean, it's still early, but they just look. I mean, every week they have looked consistently good so far. Anything can change at any time, but right now they just look really good. I think Cleveland wins probably 30-14. I would say.
I'm going to say something that's going to piss off every Cleveland fan that you have. Baker Mayfield is the equivalency of Alex Smith.
Oh.
He's a mediocre quarterback who's a above-average game manager. And I'm not saying they can't win with him, and especially when you've got Kareem Hunt and you have Nick Chubb. They've got an offense that's...
Don't forget about Odell Beckham. He's coming back.
I will forget about him happily because I don't think he's worth the equation there. The defense is humming on all cylinders with Cleveland. I mean, here's the thing, Frank. When you look at, I know fantasy isn't real life. We see that. But in terms of statistics, do you know where Baker currently is ranked in fantasy points? 24th in most common leagues out of 32 starting quarterbacks. That means he's worse. He's in the bottom third of your league. Like, that's not great. But that being said, they still, like I said, I put over the whole team there. I don't trust Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is infamous for throwing that last-second interception. They're as highly ranked in this as they are because they just knocked off Seattle. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout. I'm going to go 30-24 Cleveland here.
Okay, fair enough. Next, we have the defending AFC champs, Kansas City Chiefs, at the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this is quite interesting because this would actually be Andy Reid's return to Philadelphia, because he used to be a head coach there. But unfortunately, I don't know the status with Andy Reid because he actually had a health issue at the end of last week's game.
Dehydration. I think he's good to go. I think they're planning on him being behind around the sidelines.
Okay, so that's good. So with that being said, with this game, Kansas City's quite interesting right now because Kansas City's only actually got one win, despite probably scoring more points than probably anybody right now. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying like one of the highest scoring points right now so far for the teams. And you know, they lost to Baltimore 2 weeks ago in dramatic fashion, and then they lost to the Chargers of all people, and this is going to be interesting. I think Kansas City does win this game because the Eagles got a lot of problems. But there's a lot of concern right now for Kansas City because they just, I don't know where to go. But I definitely think they will win this. I think they'll probably win 34-20.
So here's an update. Apparently Andy Reid was back in the facility on Monday, so he should be good to go. The Baltimore win, as we saw on the air, I was very surprised by. I think you and I both thought that Baltimore was going to get blown out by them.
Yeah.
I called the Chargers win.
Oh, wow. I should also mention the Kansas City betting odds is 7.5 too.
Yes, but here's the thing. Kansas, and it might be different against Philly because I watched how Philly played last week on Monday night, and that's a whole other scenario. But you've got a Kansas City team that's going to force you to throw to beat them. It doesn't help that their offense in general, or their defense in general, is very porous. And Justin Herbert threw back-to-back 300-yard games. He just wasn't really throwing the touchdowns needed. I knew eventually he was going to break out and finally be able to kind of put up those points. I don't think it happens again this week. You need a very balanced team to be able to do that. And whether it's just throwing to your backs or running with them, something needs to be of benefit. With the Chargers, at least they had Austin Eckler. Last week, Monday night, the Philadelphia game, do you know how many rushes Philadelphia's two running backs had combined?
I don't remember what the stat, but it was really low.
3 total rushes between the two running backs.
Oh, wow.
Jalen Hurts had 3 times the rushes. He had 9 rushes versus 3 total for the two running backs. I don't think Sirianni's coaching a good offensive game plan for Philly.
So Hurst was basically the leading rusher.
Correct. I'm going to pick Kansas City here, and it's going to be similar to what we saw Monday. I'm going to go 41-17.
Yes. Okay. For the next game, we getting into your team. We got the Houston Texans at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills in this so far is the highest betting odds, is 16.5 betting odds here. I'm not sure if Tyrod is here for this, or he's not. Okay, well,
he was IR'd in week 2, so he is not eligible to return until week 4.
Oh.
I think Bills fans are bummed. I think they want.
Well, it is week 4, so it would be like week 6, right?
This is week 4, Frank.
Well, yeah, so he wouldn't be able to return this week.
Until week 5 or 6, correct?
Okay,
He won't be back this week.
Okay, good. So yeah, it would have been interesting to see Tyrod return to Buffalo, but that being said, with Tyrod not being there, and obviously Watson is not playing at all.
Davis Mills is your starter.
So, yeah, and I seen Mills against the Panthers, and yeah, no.
He didn't look bad. So here's the weird thing. In terms of quarterback rating, Frank,
yeah,
he's the highest rated rookie for quarterback rating this year.
Yeah, but he's only got one game under his belt, though.
He's got 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, technically, he played
second half
of week. Yeah, okay. So yeah, he's got some game action, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. I don't think he's a starter guy, and Buffalo obviously are a much rounded team. If Tyrod was playing, it'd probably be much more of a competitive game because when Tyrod was playing against the Browns, it was competitive until he got injured. But with Tyrod not there, I have zero confidence in Houston even having a chance in this game. I think Buffalo wins 35-7.
I'm out of my mind for saying this number. Buffalo's going 52.
I mean, look what they did to Washington.
We'll say 52-17. And the only reason I'm saying 17 is they're going to get garbage time points like Washington did. And that'll be where you really see them score like the last. It might be like 40.
And that garbage time helped me get some fantasy points. Not that I needed it since I had the highest points of the whole week.
Congratulations, Frank! Didn't you do this last year and go 2-1 and fall apart?
Oh, yeah. Well, that was because I had injuries. Hopefully it doesn't happen this time.
Hey, Frank, who are you still chasing in the standings?
I'm just chasing to get to the playoffs, man.
Man, I'm out here at 3-0 and I'm on top of the league right now.
Yep. Well, anything can happen. So next we have the Tennessee Titans at the New York Jets, and the betting odds are Titans 8. Okay, what can I say for this one? Tennessee easily wins. Jets are terrible. And I'm kind of wondering when the Jets are ever going to get a good quarterback at this rate, because
I don't think it's the Jets having a bad quarterback, because Zach Wilson showed glimpses. I think it's the lack of talent around him. His starting left tackle is missing.
Well, they got to get something done at this point.
But that's it. How tough is it? You've seen this when you have injuries in Green Bay. How tough is it to produce a winning team when you don't have a line protecting your quarterback?
Exactly. No line. Guess what? You're going to get sacked every play.
But that's it. They spent 2 draft picks on him. One of them's not ready. The other one's the left tackle who's on the IR with a dislocated kneecap. The other 3 were scrubs. So I hate it, because I think that Zach Wilson's going to be one of the premier quarterbacks in this league in a couple of years. I was really high on him this year.
Well, I mean, it also depends on what happens, as you said. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I don't know. It's getting really tough for him right now. But
if you want an odd shot here, the leading rusher for Tennessee this week will not be Derrick Henry.
Oh, that's an interesting prediction.
Darrington Evans. And the only reason I say that is because the Titans will be up so much so early, they're just going to go into withdrawal mode and put the backups in early.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I think, but like I said, with that being said, I think Tennessee probably, like, I think it might be probably 41 zip.
I was going to say 42-3, so I'm on the same wavelength.
So, yeah, easy win for Tennessee, and with their division, it's probably going to be needed because, I mean, well, their division, they probably won't need to win as much, but definitely need to win against the crack teams for sure. So, yeah, next we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Miami Dolphins, and Dolphins don't have Tua anymore. They got Basket as the starter.
We're set.
And they have, well, actually, surprisingly enough, the Dolphins have a 2-point favorite in the betting odds right now over the Colts. But I don't believe that. I think the Colts probably are going to win here, despite my not liking of their quarterback. I think the Colts probably get it done here. I think it's gonna be like probably like a 20-7 victory for the Colts, and Dolphins just kind of they just look flat, and they got a lot of work to go for before they're any good. I mean, it's just not there with them.
So I guess here's my issue again. With the hatred of, oh, well, he's not good. Who's their best offensive lineman in Indy?
Their best offensive lineman?
Yeah. Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson.
Their left tackle retired.
Well,
Their
yeah,
current
but
left tackle's coming back from a torn Achilles. Their right tackle is injured and missing games. Quentin Nelson's not going to be playing this week due to a foot injury. They actually have decreased the offensive line.
So you think the Dolphins are going to win?
I'm going to take Miami because Carson Wentz can't catch a damn break and cannot get protection in front of him. He has less time this year to complete passes than he had last year. Like, that's an actual stat.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So what do you got as a score?
I'm going to say Miami 20.
20.
Indy 17.
Oh, so it's close. You got it. That's really
close. It's going to be a
close.
close game because, like, with Brissett, I don't trust him that much. But look at what they did last week with Brissett. He threw at Jalen Waddle 14 times. That kid's a playmaker, but the ball in his hand.
Yeah. Also, I should note that Brissett, this is actually the team he used to play for, too.
Correct.
Yeah.
His second team he played for.
Yep. He played for New England first.
Yes,
But nonetheless, the next game we have is the Arizona Cardinals against at the LA Rams. And the Rams have a 4.5 betting odd favorite. But after what they did last week, they probably should have more. But I definitely think the Rams will probably win this game, though I hope they lose. I would say they're probably going to win like 34 to like 21. The Cardinals are okay, but it's clear that the Rams right now are probably the team to beat now after beating the Bucks. And that's saying something because we have to play them in a couple of weeks. My team, the Packers. So, hopefully we can beat them by that point. But nonetheless, that's what I got for the Rams.
I'm going to be real out of pocket here. 21-20, Rams beat the Cardinals.
Oh, 1 point. You got them by 1.
I have been an Arizona Cardinals truther for 2 years now. I thought the Cardinals had the potential to go 13-3 last year, Frank. I really like what they've built there. Kyler Murray is one of the next stars of the game. But Matt Stafford cannot be cooled off right now. I'm going to say he hangs in a phenomenal game, 21-20.
Okay. Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks against the San Francisco 49ers, and the 49ers actually have a 3-point favorite, or they're 3-point favorites in the betting odds. I could see the 49ers winning. I mean, they just lost to my football team. We'll get to that later, but the 49ers probably are going to get this because the Seahawks kind of looked flat against the Vikes, and the 49ers looked kind of good at the end against my team, even though we still managed to win. They probably win in actually a field goal game. It's probably 2017 49ers.
I'm going to say Seattle breaks the streak here. I'm going to say it's an ugly game. Let's say 14-10 final. Seattle wins.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That smash mouth NFC West style football I'm used to seeing, so it wouldn't shock me.
Okay, fair enough. Next we have the Baltimore Ravens at the Denver Broncos. Surprisingly enough, the Broncos are actually 1-point favorites in this. They're 3-0. But the Broncos' 3 games that they played against were not very good football teams. And they're playing the Ravens. Ravens surprised me the last couple of weeks. And while I do think Teddy Bridgewater is very impressive, and I think he's going to have a good game here, I do think ultimately the Baltimore Ravens get it done. And I'm going to say this one actually will be the close game. I'm going to say this one is 21-20 Baltimore.
Well, we're on the same wavelength that the game will be close, but I'm going to say it's 24-20 Denver.
Interesting.
I like what Denver's built, and that's including the fact that they've won good back-to-back games without their number one receiver. They've built a very strong receiving core there. They've lost 2 receivers long-term the last 2 weeks. Cortland Sutton still continues to look good. Tim Patrick has stepped up. That's a kid who was not drafted high. He's 6'4". He runs damn near a 4.40. He's ridiculously fast. And then you add on that Melvin Gordon's finally hitting his stride. Javonte Williams looks good, and their defense is what it was supposed to be last year. Denver's not a fluke. Teddy Bridgewater's brought in to be a manager and has looked like more than a game manager.
That's what I said. I said Teddy was going to be good.
But and I agree. I like what Teddy did. I was a Drew Lock fan, but I never once discounted what Teddy did. I thought Teddy got a bum rep in Carolina.
Yeah.
But I get what they're doing too, because look at they're 3-0 with Sam Darnold there. Teddy didn't fit the Carolina system. Teddy's a system quarterback, as is Sam Darnold. You can't put those guys in just any system. They're both shining in new systems. But I'm going to go with Denver going to 4-0, man. I still don't trust Baltimore. And this might be one of the better defenses Baltimore faces so far this year.
Interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that division, with the West right now, because Kansas City's actually in last place right now going in this week. So
yes, they are.
It'll be interesting to see where that division goes. That division's going to be completely different right now if Kansas City doesn't step it up. But nonetheless, now we get to my game, and that actually is also your other favorite team too that my team's playing, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers are at my Green Bay Packers. The Packers got actually a 6.5 betting odd here, but quite frankly, I think we're gonna smoke the Steelers. I think the Steelers are like digressing. And I seen it as early as the Bills game, because I don't think the Steelers should have beaten the Bills. The Bills really beat themselves in that game with the 4th and 1 stupid play, and they just got their butts whooped to the Bengals, who I don't think are going to be a playoff team. I think they're going to be a rebuilding team. The Raiders, yes, too. And I think the Packers, since Aaron Rodgers has finally got his funk back, after the terrible week 1. I think the Packers probably throw 4. I think Aaron's probably going to throw at least 4 touchdown passes in this game. And I think it will be a 35-10 victory for the Packers.
So I guess my question is, does it count as getting your butt kicked if it's a 10-point victory?
Well, it depends on the score, I guess, because like sometimes you can get stuff in garbage time too.
I don't necessarily think it's be garbage time, but I think Green Bay does win. I think it's 31-21. And the reason I do say this, Green Bay's perimeter defenders are still not
the defense.
What's not helping Ben last week was losing what is his number 1 target. Deontay Johnson is healthy and will be back. Deontay Johnson has put up over 100 yards almost every game that he's been healthy this year. And Pat Freiermuth is finally coming on. I'm going to call at least 1 touchdown to Johnson, 1 touchdown to Freiermuth. And we'll kick 1 in for Najee Harris, probably 2. But I'm going to say 31-21 Packers still win.
Yeah, Packers. We need all the wins we can get at this point.
Listen, you should be happy. You never hear me say Packers win. And so far, in two episodes of this year, I've given you Packers wins twice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, when you weren't here, you thought the Packers should win that game too, didn't you?
Which game was that?
That game was against the 49ers when the refs tried to screw us.
I mean, let's be fair. You're you're never supposed to give Aaron Rodgers more than 30 seconds on the clock to end the game.
Exactly. So nonetheless, with that, we move on to Sunday Night Football, which is the return of Tom Brady to New England. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be at the New England Patriots. So this was going to be probably awkward for the Patriots fans that are probably going to cheer for him when he comes on and then boo him like when they are playing. But this will be also Brady versus Belichick. And Belichick's probably still salty that Tom's got a Super Bowl with another team. So
listen, Bill already lied this week, and Tom busted him in the lie. So did you hear about that?
Oh, when he didn't talk about anything, like he always does.
They asked Bill if he met in person to say his goodbyes, because there's reports out there that they never met in person to say their farewells, and Bill goes, no, that's a complete lie. I met him in person for it. And then they asked Tom, and Tom goes, he never met me in person. I don't know why he would say he did. He knows he didn't.
That's interesting. That's something going on at the end there.
That's the person they've always made Bill.
Yep. So nonetheless, Tampa has got a 6.5 favorite. Honestly, I think it should be more than that. I think the Bucs, the Patriots are just not the Patriots anymore without Tom. Like, let's just face it right now. The Patriots are just not the same anymore. They're not a good team anymore. They're trying to figure themselves out with their quarterback right now with Mac, who's still on the fringe on it.
Bad.
Yeah, I'm still on the 50-50 on if he'll be good or not, but
I'm on the Mac Jones train.
But
I've been the whole offseason, and I still am.
But I still don't think he is going to be able to do anything against Brady, especially after Brady just lost the game to the Rams in the way they lost. He's definitely going to be wanting blood for that loss, and I think Brady and the Bucs are probably going to win like 30 to probably 10. Maybe that's probably being modest because it might be even more than that. But yeah, I think the Bucs easily win this game.
I'm gonna go Tampa Bay, but I'm gonna go 28-17. I think Mac gets to show that he is a rookie. I'm gonna say he throws a touchdown and a pick. But I'm gonna say that he doesn't look bad. He goes for 250 yards again, and it's really Tom having to be Tom that wins it, 28-17.
Okay, and then we finish it off with Monday Night Football, and that's the Las Vegas Raiders against the LA Homeless Chargers. The Chargers actually have a 3.5 favorite in this game, and they're probably going to need it because there's probably going to be more Raiders fans at this game than there will be Chargers fans. But that doesn't seem to really faze the Chargers since they managed to go to Kansas City and beat Kansas City the way they did. Though, despite the Chargers playing good last week, the Raiders are playing good too. And Carr's looking really sharp. And I'm still not fully convinced the Chargers are going to be where they need to be. Especially when they lost to the Cowboys the way they did. So I'm going to say the Raiders are going to win. They're going to most likely have the home field, even though it's in the Chargers Stadium, because there are more Raiders fans in LA than there are Chargers fans, and Chargers are stuck in San Diego still, and they lost their whole fan base. I got the Raiders winning. It's probably going to be like a 20. I'm going to say probably 27-17. I got the Raiders winning this game.
We're real close on that, Frank. I'm going to go with the Raiders as well. And it's more or less, I directly compared these guys on our show earlier for Spread, though, or not, for Fantasy Beasts. Would you believe that Carr and Herbert have the same amount of completions. Carr has thrown 10 more passes, so he has a lesser completion percentage. They have the same amount of touchdowns thrown at 6. Herbert's got one more interception thrown, but Carr has thrown for 300 more yards than Herbert with the same amount of completions.
Yeah. And don't forget, the Raiders, even though it's in Charger Stadium, the Raiders are most likely going to have the home field in this.
Yeah, I don't even really care about that. I'm looking at the way that people are going to be playing on this. Dude, the Raiders have looked very good. This is another team. I had the Raiders and I had the Cardinals last year, teams that I thought were going to be virgin playoffs, and this is the two teams that I thought they played like last year showing up this year. I'm going to go Raiders. I'm going to go 24-17 though.
For 24-17, well, at least they're showing up better late than never.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was the last game. So yeah, that was our predictions for this week.
Don't forget, once you're done watching this video, go up in that corner because you're watching the SS Ultimate Goku. Ring that bell.
Yep. And subscribe. Also, make sure to check out the Spread Those Wings and the your Fantasy Beasts.
Where to find them?
Fantasy Beasts. You do your show too. You do your show on Twitch, on Sunday?
Every Sunday morning we do a fantasy football stardom sit-em. That is on Facebook at Fantasy Beasts FB Pod and on Twitch at Tiki Tribe TV. That is for any of you that are football fans. Jump on in and ask us questions. We are live on air at 10:30 until about 11:30 every Sunday, and we're taking your questions live. This isn't scripted. This isn't a replay.
Yeah.
If you ask it, we will answer.
I still got to figure out if I have to.
If you ever have a question for your lineups.
Well, Gronk. I'm still wondering if I should have Gronk as my flex this week.
I'll text you when we get off here. I'll see what else you got on your bench.
Okay. But yeah, guys, go check that out. Again, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell for all the latest content. All the links will be in the description for this stuff, as well as the predictions that we had as well. So you guys can all check that out. Comment, like the video and all that stuff. And that is about it, guys. I'm the SS Ultimate Goku. He is the Reigning 48. And we're out of here. Peace.